Baladrax, Jeff, my good friend, new friend, introduced through the... oh, there we go. Thank you so much, Amanda. Already got people popping in the chat here tonight. Hello, lovelies. And he was talking about sort of his experience, and we'll go live here in a couple of minutes. We're going to have Robert joining us, of course. But Jeff, man, thanks again for being with us tonight. And
no problem.
If you don't mind, kind of continue where you were.
Yeah, we were talking about now that we have these fancy virtual tabletops and everything, like, you know, how do you capture that old school experience of just pure role play and yeah, this is like sometimes the VTT kind of, since you see everything in so much detail, you kind of forget to describe what's happening, so yeah, you have to keep reminding yourself to be like, you know, something might not be represented in the map that you're presenting,
right?
And you have to keep filling that gap. And I do like I've seen on your gaming streams where you'll just shut the imagery off.
Yeah.
And so it's just the people's faces, and then you're not just focusing on that image. I almost wish that we had something like that, and like you could put the shutter up and
yes.
I guess you could, because there's that cinematic mode.
Right.
You could just have it go to a cinematic of some vague screen or something, or maybe out of focus. Yeah, you could set it so. Oh, but yeah, I don't know if you can do that exactly. But yeah, you know, just and like I said, I was watching your streams and how you describe things, and I was like, you know what, I haven't been doing that as good as I could be. Like, what's this smell like?
All right.
You don't have that in the VTTs yet.
No, that's awesome. All right, so I'm going to let Robert in a moment. Actually, my mouse just died, so I'm going to go find the battery for this mouse, and I'll be right back.
I'm playing the stream up, so I have it. I had it. I lost the window. Make sure it's muted. Yeah, I had a power outage today. I almost had to move my entire rig to another house so I could be on, but the power came back up and everything's good. Baladrax. I noticed my name is misspelled on the title card.
Only one though, okay?
I don't know if John can hear me. Probably not. I was just commenting. I noticed my name is misspelled on the title card there.
Oh, is it?
As
Oh.
Baladrax.
Oh, crap. All right, so many things to fix. Hang on. I will.
That's fine. It's genuine, you know? Raw and unfiltered.
Exactly.
Sing us the song of your people.
Sing us the song of your people, please. What on earth is going on here with this stupid mouse? Hello, Jeff, Manda, Tracy.
Another Jeff?
Yeah, there are multiple Jeffs here. Sorry.
Yeah, I run into that a lot.
What the literal heck is going on with this mouse?
I usually need a few grogs in me before I start seeing.
No, yeah, go grab some grogs, bro. Yeah, do that. What on earth? All right, I'm gonna go grab a physical mouse here, USB connected. That's stupid.
That's what I do. Wires all the way.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, wires, exactly.
I'm not Jeff. I'm Jeff. Do people pronounce your name Geoff sometimes? Joffrey? I remember the mascot for Toys R Us was Joffrey, the giraffe. Yeah, almost every place I've worked, there's been at least one other Jeff. Even my best friend growing up was named Jeff as well, so we had two Jeffs. One of us usually ended up with a nickname.
Oh my goodness.
Moose. Oh, that's a good. As long as you embrace it, that's a good nickname.
Jeff, this is every time I think I have all the tech stuff figured out, I have something new that pops up. This should not be happening tonight. What the literal...
There was an old Nickelodeon show. It was called "Can't Do That on Television" or something. Where one of the main characters was named Moose. That's going way back, like early days of like, yeah, toddler Nickelodeon channel, like first started. John is still looking for a mouse. I guess I'm taking over the stream. Hello? Welcome? Should I do some giveaways? You can never get used to the trackballs. They're good for playing, certain video games. Missile Command. I had to play Missile Command.
Okay, I have it. It's working.
All right.
Here we go.
Mouse.
All right, so we're bringing in Robert. Hey, Rob. Thank you, all you patient mad chatters. Golly, what a night. We will not give up.
While you're away, while you're gone. So some of that stuff on your shelf, you have to ship out to some people.
Hey, Rob. All right, here we go. Welcome. We are late, but we are excited. We have a great guest tonight, Jeff, known as Baladrax, whose name is misspelled. Let me fix that quickly here on the stream.
I do a hard A, so Baladrax.
Not Baladrax, just Baladrax. There we got it done. All right, so, and live, 3, 2, and 1. All right, welcome to LMA 96. I believe we're on now. It's getting so close to 100, and thank you for joining us tonight. We're always joined by Robert, the amazing right hand of LMA and all of Blue Box, and tonight we're joined by Jeff. Jeff, you know him as Baladrax. He has been spoken of in the highest terms by John, who is Demon Gunned, and we're talking VTTs and other cool stuff tonight. But before we jump into any of that, I want to talk about your background, John. You and I, or Jeff, you and I talked about this a bit before the stream kicked off. 97, yes, I knew that, Amanda. Tell us about a bit of your background and how you got into D&D.
Hi. Yeah, Dungeons & Dragons and I go quite a ways back. When I was about 11 years old, I picked up my first red box basic Dungeons & Dragons set, and shortly after the blue box, and had no one to play with. So so I just like poured over all the rules. I tried to get my brothers. I have 4 brothers. They're all much older than me. Tried to get one of them to play, and he's like, "This is too complicated," and he made up his own rules, and we played some of that. It was more kind of board game like, but had fun with it.
Right.
And then finally, eventually got some people that were interested in playing Dungeons and Dragons, and been with it off and on for, 40 years now.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Wow. You, me, Robert, we're all in the same kind of boat there. So, Rob, before we jump into his content, any questions about his background? You can't look surprised every time I ask you. I all the time, Rob. I'm like, I do this, right?
John, you literally just asked him about his background.
I know. So there's more. There's more. I'm telling you, there's more.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
No, there's not it.
Boy. So I know we're talking about building train, but are you currently playing, or? And if so,
Yeah, I currently play. We played mainly Pathfinder now.
Mm-hmm.
Pathfinder 1E.
Okay.
Dabbled a little bit with Pathfinder 2. Our whole group wasn't sold on it. I've been playing with the same group of guys for like 12 years now. This is kind of when I rediscovered playing in person Dungeons and Dragons. I've been playing on like play by posts and on forums for a while, like when I didn't have a gaming group.
Mm-hmm.
And then but yeah, I haven't played 5th edition yet, and I've been wanting to, but we've got 2 long-running campaigns that have been going almost 10 years that are using Pathfinder, so we're kind of stuck until those are done. One of them's going to finish early next year. I won't say this year because we're almost done, but and I run one game and I play in multiples. Yes.
At this point, you may as well just wait for what's next.
Right.
Pretty much, yeah.
1, right? D&D 1.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I've lost track of what they're doing with that.
All right. So
I don't know if
go
we
ahead.
were live or not, but I was saying how like the most fun I've had playing recently was going back to basic D&D and playing Keep on the Borderlands with a couple friends.
Yeah, you talked about that. So tell us more about Keep on the Borderlands. I mean, basic D&D, dwarves are a class and a race. Elves are a class and a race. Is that what you're playing?
Yep. Yeah. We went just straight up. My original red box set, I still have it. I don't have the box. I have all the books and everything. I busted that one out. We're using those rules.
Love it. So what brings that to life for you? What makes that fun?
It's the openness. When you don't have as many rules, sometimes it lets the creativity flow a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And you just go off the cuff and do a random dice roll for something, and it forces you to be more creative, I think.
I like that.
What I'm seeing here, what I'm hearing here is a man who needs to.
I knew it, Rob. Yes, exactly. Yeah, so it is very much the same. Castles and Crusades from Troll Lord Games. It is very simple and basic in the rule sets, and So, all right, I'm going to switch over here. The main point tonight is to talk about the amazing things that you're doing with VTT. So, as an old school gamer. Tell us, Jeff, how you see VTTs immersing your game or being a sort of an extension of the DM's effort to make a really good story.
I've always been into representing terrain in some way. So like physical terrain, even if it was, even if you're just your map, you try to put as much detail into that hand-drawn map as you can. And then getting into physical terrain, and I showed some of those pictures on your Discord of that ice cavern and stuff. And now now that my group is physically split, we were looking for VTTs. We're using like Roll20 for a while, but then when we saw Tailspire, it's like, oh, this is bringing back that feeling of the miniatures,
right?
Because it just captures that spirit so well that it was kind of a natural progression for us to go into this realm, but just like physical terrain, it takes so long to build some of these things, at least to get them as detailed as I would like them to be, and I've been in the visual effects industry for many years now, and I use professional 3D software on a daily basis, and I'm like, can I use that and do what I do there and just stick it into Tailspire? And yes, I can. And with the help of the community, I was able to get the importing and exporting from Tailspire through them, and then I can just concentrate on building some tools to build some really neat terrains and stuff.
Rob?
I want to see what, take a look at what he's building, because
all right, so you have your your OBS Ninja up, and I agree. I would love to see, Jeff, what you're creating. I mean, I saw some of your pre-stuff, and it is incredible. I'd like to talk about the AI component as well. I'm imagining if she's not already on, we will see Anna B. Meyer in the stream tonight. We already have Tim and Jay. We're a big proponent here of physical terrain, but the VTT stuff can be a great complement to that, and I would love them to see what you're doing. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I see it. What?
Oh, my
How do you do that in Tailspire?
chunk away. Through the power of visual effects software. That's how I do that. This might be chunking a little bit.
Not bad, though.
Okay?
No, it's fine, yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, this is one of my heavier maps. I just did this recently. And basically, this is all generated procedurally in the computer, and I can transfer this into Tailspire with the help of a mod, all in like one pass. This one's kind of chunking my computer a little bit, so I might want to pull up something a little bit lighter, but
It's fine.
I think with streaming and everything, slowing it down. But I can show you a few other examples.
Well, no, but before you move on, I want you to know, like, Jeff, you have tonight on, you have some of the biggest physical terrain people in the industry. Of course, Jay, Lord Gazumba, is in. The ever mysterious Tim, who I'll be crushing his campaign on Saturday. We have also Anna B. Meyer in, who is creating all kinds of great maps, and she was super interested in the... okay, all right, you are... Jeff, I'm sorry. Like, I love the way that's submerged just slightly below the water. That looks so photorealistic. That is fantastic. Anna is going to love what you're creating here. Bill, the Master Crafter, is going to be on with us in January, and he does physical terrain. These things are complementary, not controversial or competitive, and I think this is just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and part of that realism of this underwater stuff, of course, it kind of breaks down when you get close to it, but that's the nature of Tailspire, is I didn't create all these neat little inlets, and like it almost looks like erosion, right? Like something has kind of washed up and sucked, because there's an actual simulation that's creating this. It actually does a physical erosion simulation. I can show you some of that too. So it kind of calculates like how water would run off of a surface. It carries away debris and piles it up in other areas. And I think I spent about 4 to 5 hours on this map.
All right, so maybe talk about the procedural generation part and what you do physically with this, and then we're going to jump into tonight. I've asked him to give us an example of a Dark Sun-esque battle map as well, which I think he has ready. So, Steve, yes, I did see that. I love it, and it's going to be so fun. I am just going through the tech stuff tonight. My mouse died. My keyboard died. This is what happens when you have, disconnected Bluetooth devices. I'll have all that fixed by a little bit, and I think this is going to be so much fun to see what you've created. So the terrain is generated partially by you and then partially by AI. Is that correct, Jeff?
Yes. So so a lot of it's like, yeah, procedural generation guided by like different masks and stuff. So I'm just going to plop down my base terrain node just to show you what you start with. So this is Houdini software, and there's a free version that you can actually download. All my tools are published online as well, so if you're tech savvy, you can download Houdini for free, and you can get my tools for free. I can share a link with that.
Yeah, please do.
As well. Can I share that in stream, or how do you want me to do that?
You should be. Pop it in the stream.
Okay.
Anna said Houdini is cool, so...
This one. That's not it. There we go. This is the GitHub that I've published my tools on. There's a few examples there. There's documentation. And here it is. So when you first plop this down, you basically just get a blank slate of some noisy terrain to work with, and it's just basically procedural noise.
Okay.
You can adjust the amplitude of it. We're going so slow. There we go. And then, and like for those erosion tools, like this definitely looks like computer generated stuff, right? It doesn't look very interesting or anything. But then they have like this erode tool built into Houdini. And you can essentially simulate what weather would do on top of that. And we just basically advance the frame, and you can start to see it slowly erode away.
What?
Basically,
Wow.
pools.
That is so cool.
Rivers would be, or lakes and whatnot. And then you can export that into. Well, this is my tool set, where then you can kind of apply a biome to that, which will intelligently put down where it thinks trees and stuff like that should go. And I say intelligently kind of loosely because you're basically just going off of rules of.
Yeah. So like. We got a lot of technical folks here, so Anna asked what format you're using to export it in.
Okay, the format goes directly into Tailspire's slab format. So when you copy something from Tailspire, that's what they call a slab.
Mm-hmm.
And here, let me.
And I prefer boards over slabs, but I see both in Tales Tavern and.
We don't have any way to save directly to a board, so we have to use the slab format so far. Eventually, we might be able to do entire boards. Let's save this in Blue Box. Let's call this test.
Hey, Red Monk.
Back out. I'll show you in a second how the exporting works, but basically.
Joffrey said this is butter. Reminds him of the old Bryce tools. Yeah, I agree.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I can enable showing the slab. Uh-oh, look at that. I ran into a problem. Hey, this is alpha software.
If you don't have a problem, that's not a good demo. So Anna B. Meyer said, now I need to import my stuff into Houdini and then export it. Zarathanon, hey, good to see you. He called us all a bunch of tools. Yes, we're all tools here. Thank you.
There is a bug that I remember that I have to actually relaunch Houdini to make when I first create a new map, and I have to track down that bug. But
no worries. We're all friends here. Don't sweat it. Like there's no pressure here. Take your time. If you don't have an issue, it's not a good demo. So.
You have to dice it down into small slabs because you have a limit of like 30K to work with in the slab format. So you can't just export this entire map in one chunk because it's too big typically with the level of detail that I typically do at least. So let's see if this works now. Display current slab. Still not working. I'm gonna try. It can be hundreds of these slabs. Like the very first map that I export, I called Dolgan's Peak. It's on my Tales Tavern. This guy.
Right.
I got up to 1 million assets or something like that.
Wow.
It was like.
Oh my goodness, I don't have that. I need that. That is gorgeous.
It's like 400 or 500 slabs. It took me 3 or 4 hours to paste each slab individually, and you can kind of see a wide shot of it. But
oh my goodness,
that's
that
almost
is
1 million assets, which is the limit that tells.
Which is like, as a DM, like download it. It's a playground. So cool. So we had the question from Joffrey said, can you take the GLB script and have the code generate objects?
The DLB script.
The GLB. He said GLB script.
I'm not sure what that is.
Yeah, I'm not either. But Zarothanon said, wow, gorgeous. Agreed. GLB format is the question. So GLB.
Oh, is that the
Is that the Tailspire Galapagos Lizard Battalion? I'm pretty sure that's not what it means. Thank you,
that
Steve.
from like the terrain, like topography map?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm
I
confused
don't know
as
why
well.
this isn't working. I'll just pull up something else. But yeah, for some reason, this is failing. All right, I'm not going to worry about it. I'll pull up something else that I've done, I guess.
Just pull a J and say you hit the wrong button. That'll work.
There you go. But yeah, essentially we break it down into,
Gundam Light Brigade.
small slabs.
Well, the GLP is like popping up in the chat.
Gundam Light Brigade.
Exactly. All right, sorry. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, let me just pull up a simple terrain that should be nice and tiny. Oh, actually, this is something that might be interesting. Do I have it? It might be this. If you're talking about the topography maps that you can get from like the I forget the name of the site, but basically you can download real world grayscale height maps. You can use those to generate terrain. So like this is the Grand Canyon in a height map, and I just imported that from it's just a grayscale map. I imported that into my terrain system, and voila,
Mm-hmm.
it should soon show us the terrain with like actual trees and stuff on it.
Yeah, and it said you
Not
can make
doing
your own.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. So you can do it all procedurally. You could model it in some other thing like Maya or something. So here it has applied the Tailspire tiles to that.
Wow.
And then you could also, I don't know if I put props on here. Oh, I did. Holy crow. So I've actually stuck my pine forest biome on there. And this one we should be able to see the slabs at least. Display current slab. Yeah, something went wrong with that one I tried to do from scratch. It's got to figure out how many slabs there are. And then,
All right.
There we
You
go.
want to fight dinosaurs in the Grand Canyon, you'll have to find another stream. I will not break these guys out until I hit partner. When I'm partnered, then you will see the dinosaurs. Until then, they will not appear.
so as you can see here, this is the size of the slab. And that's probably the maximum size I could get because there's just too much data on this map. And so to copy all of those, there's 625 of them to create this map. That'd just be way too many.
Right.
Can I make a... Oh, okay. I don't really want to export this one because it would take a little while.
Sure.
I think it's pretty dense. But I'll export some other maps later on to show. And so this is the proxy of what you can kind of pre-visualize it in my Houdini setup here. And then so you get an idea of what it's going to look like, and then you can export to Tailspire fairly quickly.
I love it. So the questions in the chat, John, you're a dinosaur. Yes, I am in some respects. Though I lack talons. Maybe they will come at some point. And then, are you? That was a promise. Yeah, it is a promise, Manda. I will. When we get partner, I have already promised we will have a Jurassic Park style blue box, all dinosaur. Even though I hate them in D&D, they will appear here when I'm partnered. That will happen. Son of a. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. All right. So what's that?
I'm attempting to make a bounding box.
Yeah, I see that.
A small area because I forgot I built that into my tool so I can test just certain areas.
Anna, do you not love this? I feel like Baladrax, you and Anna, Jeff, you have to connect.
Yeah.
Anna's like all over the cartography stuff, and I think you and she can really make some cool stuff.
Oh, did is she the one that did your main map?
Yep. Yeah, she did the Greyhawk map. She's a cartographer extraordinaire. She's in the chat. Hopefully, so yeah. She said we can geek out on this. Like, you guys got to connect. That's kind of what I want to do here is like connect great creators, and I think you and Anna can make things that are amazing with the physical cartography, the digital art that she does, and what you're doing here in this tool is absolutely fantastic.
All right, I'm gonna attempt to put this one in Tailspire and see what happens. We're doing it live.
Love it.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun dun. Rob, thoughts, questions? Like I hate it because Rob is always like sort of the third wheel here, but I want you to like speak up, my friend. Like, what are you thinking? What are you seeing here?
Well, I mean, this is really, really cool. It's not something if there's a
Oh my gosh!
learning curve, but wow.
Wow!
Well, there it is.
It's like,
What?
So this one was basically just taking an image of the Grand Canyon using one of my default biomes. I probably originally did this in about 20 minutes or less. So you can get a map that looks like that based off of a height map and a predefined biome. The biomes are the hardest things to make. They take the longest amount of time. And part of that getting ready for the Badlands thing was this. This is me planning out stuff to build a biome for the Badlands. Kind of what is it? Is it Dark Sun?
Yeah.
I've never played Dark Sun.
Yeah, so I asked him like to create a sort of a battle map style for Dark Sun, which of course we'll put in Greyhawk, which will be in the you guys know. If you watch this stream, you know what I'm talking about. So, God, I'm blown away, Jeff. I am blown away. The chat's blowing up. Everyone's like,
Nice.
how do you?
Yeah, biomes are a headache. I don't know what Flowscape is, so no. That was a question in your chat. But do you want to go into like doing a Badlands thing? Or?
Was that a question? Really? I mean, like, yes, I do. Please.
Badlands thing.
So, I did start one over here as a test of my biomes. Let me make sure I'm going to save this as a new version.
They're very bad, Tim. Very, very bad.
So, if you have a particular map in mind, I can.
No, I mean, I sent you a couple examples, but honestly, it doesn't matter. Like, yeah, exactly. The idea is like, yeah.
I'll just run through my thought process on this test map that I was working on. So, you always start with this just a flat plane here, and I was looking at like the maps that you sent me that have like some kind of canyons and high areas, and they have this pattern node that you can basically put down patterns. You can where is it?
So, Rob, here I'm looking for like battle maps that are in sort of, you put them in the Bright Desert or the Dry Steppes or, anywhere in Greyhawk or Athos, if you're playing True Dark Sun, that kind of fit those Badland Desert battle map styles. And I wanted those components, and I sent him a few maps, and I can see he's already got it.
Yeah. So like these would be your high areas and low areas. Then you can distort that by noise. So suddenly you start getting some interesting shapes. And this is all noise operators that you can kind of scroll around. You can find areas that you like, basically. And there's a lot. This is a big spaghetti mess. This is me just kind of toying around. There's a lot of this stuff that's not even being used, I think. Basically, the way Houdini works is you have these procedural nodes that each step does something and then works off of the previous one. So like, yeah, this one's defining a pattern. This one's taking that pattern as an input, adding noise to it, and so on. Then I'm masking out like the top areas, and I take a noise and add that to the to get some like terracing. I know that red's kind of hard to see, to mess things up a little bit, and just basically keep playing around with these tools, these nodes, until I come up with something. And I was like, yeah, okay, that looks kind of good. We have high areas, some low areas, and then we bake that out. I think I already baked it out. I may have changed
because the red looked like plastic that needed to be primed and painted.
Yeah. So we baked that out, and here's like what the raw tiles would look like from that. Let me actually recook that again, because I think I changed some settings. Because so at first I represent everything by like 1x1 tiles, like your 5-foot squares.
Right.
And then I do a process that kind of intelligently, I don't know if you guys, let me change my settings to a dark.
And Anna, you described it in your stuff as porta potty, 5x5 squares for your map. Is that kind of what we're talking about here?
Yeah. So yeah, you have the 5x5 squares are the 1x1 unit in Tailspire, and then you have the 2x2s. So and there's the larger ones. So I made a process where it can kind of intelligently replace 1x1s with 2x2s, so that you get a more diverse look, and it minimizes the amount of tiles. So you have basically a 5-foot, a mix of 5-foot and 10-foot squares. So it bakes that out, and that takes some time. For this map, it's pretty short. This one's pretty small, so you can see the slab sizes. And then I go in and I create a biome, and like I said, that's the most time-consuming part. I'll go into the edit biome section, and I made this Badlands biome. The first step is getting in all the stuff from Tailspire, like these are the things that I want to put in that biome. So I made these by hand, and I stick them on little bases to kind of see like where the ground plane is. And so like these are all the features that I want to put in that environment. And then in Houdini, I created a node called the Tailspire object node. And essentially what you do, let me just create a new one of these actually, just to show you the process. Tailspire object. You can select a prop if you want, and there's a big list of all the props in Tailspire. Or you can select a tile, same thing, or you can do a slab import. And it's already got that one in there. But essentially we can take anything in Tailspire, copy and paste it. Let me just do, I don't think I have a proxy for any of these, but let's take one of these larger ones, like this tower here. Copy that, and then go into Houdini and paste it in this field here, hit decode, and now it's got that object in my system to use, and it's represented by bounding boxes because I don't have the actual geometry for most of this stuff. And then that tile's still there, and this green thing represents the ground, so I have an option to remove the tiles, and now it sticks it down on the ground based on where those tiles were. And it's all ready to scatter into my terrain. And so I've done that with all these objects. I've created groups, like here's large rock formations, small rock formations, vegetation, and rocks. So I copy and paste, and most of that stuff, I don't know if you were watching while we're getting the stream running. I was like doing this madly while
No, and like you got two. So Jeff, you have two groups of folks here on the stream. You have those who are creators, like Anna and others, who are geeking out on the actual content, and then you have others like me who are just wanting to consume. And you like ask people like you to create and give the vision. This is so much fun.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, that's the reason I started releasing this stuff, because I know that there's people that want to create with these tools, and I put everything I make, I just put on Tailspire, because I know, I'm sorry, Tails Tavern,
Right.
because I know that other people just want to grab that map and utilize it.
Exactly. Yeah, I download all the time, but I do create some my own stuff, and nothing like this. I mean, you have people on this stream tonight that are true creators, and they are loving what you're showing.
Nice. Well, yeah, if you have the technical prowess, because this is a very intimidating piece of software, but you're really just limited by your imagination.
Well, no, so you got people like Rob. Rob knows nothing about tech. He's completely ignorant of all technology, and
I'm a Luddite.
he's a total Luddite. He's a Lilliputian pulling down Gulliver. No, we have a lot of technical people here on this call today. So, Jeff, thank you. This is so good.
So now once you have all those props, you have to figure out, how do I put them on my terrain so they make sense? And that's where some more of the Houdini tools come in. There's this mask by feature.
Mm-hmm.
So mask by feature, you can basically detect slopes. So here I want all the sides to have just the basic rocks, like these guys. I want to stick these on the sides of every steep slope.
Right.
And I'd already imported those. So I'm saying, like, okay, you guys go there, and with a few more steps, you basically come out with all the bounding boxes of those things going down there. For other features, I really just did this quickly. I basically said, on all the flat areas, let's put other features, like some of those big towers and stuff, and rocks, different rock formations and debris. So you combine those all together and export them, and let's see. And this is essentially our completed map. So I can now export that and see what it looks like. And let's see, edit.
Greyhawk Awakening Book 3. You will see this.
Okay, multi-copy slabs. So I click that button, and this does require a mod to use properly. Otherwise, you have to paste each slab individually.
Right.
I create a new board and hit the magic key, and we can see what it looks like.
What?
So, out of all that,
Wow.
we get this. And now that I have that biome, I could make we could hand draw a map using just some outlines and come up with whatever you want. And of course, you want to set your atmospheric effects.
Yeah, so give us the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. Let's do some later in the evening.
All right, exactly, yep. The shadowing.
Yeah. Oh, add some...
Can you not see this, chatters, as Dark Sun? This is the Dry Steppes. This is the Sea of Dust. This is Dark Sun, Athos. This is... so good!
Yeah. And we talked about this yesterday.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
you're saying, in other words, if I would have given you more notice, you could have had something better, but...
Yeah. But
it's awesome,
saying,
dude.
If you know, there's tons on this that I would do better. This is kind of thrown together, but you can have your guys up here. They could be shooting arrows at some bandits over in the the other cliff. Let's look at scale wise what this looks like for characters.
Throwing it through bullets, and away we go.
There we go. Hey, exactly. So, chatters, ask questions. Hey, Ian, good to see you, Jeff. So, ask questions of we got multiple Jeffs here. Anything you'd like to know? Ideas? Is that Lake Shasta? No. Lake Shasta is not quite that dry, Steve. It's getting there close, but not yet.
Oh, it is now. There you go.
Tom asked, what happens when the gnomes rule the world? Maybe, yeah. Oh my gosh, that is so... That is the best
Cut the fog back.
Dark Sun-esque...
Yeah. Look at that. And I could just throw this one up there for people. Like, this is not refined to my level of standards, but, you know, I could throw this up there where people could just download this today.
Well, I mean, please do. But we got about 15 minutes left in the chat. So would you like to dive into some refinements you'd like to make, or kind of change topics and discuss other things sort of more macro level?
15 minutes overall for the...
Yeah, we got about 15 minutes left on the stream. So yeah, if you want to do some refinements, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, refinements that I would do, I don't know if they're worth doing live, but like I don't like how these are sticking too far above. Like I wish these were down a little bit lower along the cliffside, you know. So it's really just like minor little things. But yeah,
All right, so
other than that,
as a Tailspire neophyte, help me, Jeff. When I create, thank you for following us. We appreciate that. Acting foolish. Everything seems very, very linear, and the tiles are all kind of blocky. This looks so smooth. How I see you dropping things, but how do you make this like realistic, non-blocky visual effect?
it's really about placing these things to hide,
and then sinking them down, right?
These,
Yeah.
Because see how actually I can show you.
But your AI tool did this automatically.
Hell yeah! I mean, I like those cliffs that I was saying. Like, I select the high slope areas to
Right.
put certain cliff objects. It's that's selecting where these things go, but in a procedural way. So if I change the map, I don't have to redo that. It's just already done. But here, let me show you what this looks like without the tiles. Edit biome.
All right, and I do see the questions, Bill and Pat, so we'll ask those in a moment. Thank you, guys.
Multi-copy slabs. So
I feel bad for people that are missing the stream. This is so much fun.
All right, so this is what it would look like if I didn't have the props. This is the same exact.
That's what I build. Exactly. I download things like that from Tales Tavern all the time.
Yeah.
They're just that blocky.
Yeah. And
Which I don't like. I don't want to play that.
You can do it by hand. You can place props along all these walls. It just takes a long time, but
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Minecraft.
so you go-
Exactly, Pat. It's Minecraft.
yeah.
Which
Yeah.
so I don't.
So at the core, that's the same map that I just created. It's just that this one, we stuck a whole ton of props on there. And this would take at least,
20 hours?
Take about 100 hours.
Yeah. Okay,
to
that makes
make
it.
this map by hand. And there's some techniques you can do, but like you look at like a Stollery, those buildings like that, like they pour so much time and detail, and they look amazing.
Yeah.
And
But it's
there's
all
issues
manual.
with this map, but the more you refine the biome, the easier and the quicker it gets to do this stuff. I would like to talk a little bit about you were talking about AI.
Yes, please do.
So everything that I've done so far, I wouldn't really consider AI. It's me making procedures to be like, okay, if this slope is this high, you put these items there. If this is like this, put that there. So there's nothing really that the computer is doing intelligently. Now there are things out there, and one of them is called wave function collapse, which let's see if I can quickly find. All right, this looks really weird, but essentially you give the program some examples of things that you want it to do, and then it fills it out. So like right here, they're kind of building a dungeon based off of some very simple parameters. And I have an example of that in Houdini as well. Do I have it up? I have to load it up. I thought I had it up. So while that's launching, take another quick look at here is something someone's doing in Houdini for building cities with it, and essentially you're building. He's using a 2D method. It figures out, like, from the examples you give it, it tries to figure out like new ways to build these structures. Like here's a tile set. It's using this tile set to create these things from. I'm not doing a great job explaining it. But,
No, you are. You're good.
Let me open recent files. But where is it? I just had it open a little while ago, but it didn't come up in my recent. Was it? Recent files. Grasslands. Badlands. Yeah. Huh. Let me see if I can find it really quick. Did I put it in here? No. Boy. No, I can't remember where I put it. Crap. This is kind of neat.
No,
basically,
it's okay. Take your time. You're fine. We got time. You're fine.
Okay. Let's see. Hellspire Dungeon. There it is. I found it. Okay, here it is. So this here, imagine each one of these little colored squares as a tailspire room or something. A set of tiles that you've created to build like this, a corner of a room, a sidewall, a corridor, that kind of thing.
Right.
And this is basically, I created this as an example for this wave function collapse system. So it looks at this and it tries to come up with variations based on that. And I don't know exactly how to control it, but basically, this will take a second. There it goes. So the computer has now used my example and created this randomly based off of that. It's saying like, okay, I can make something that looks similar to that.
Wait, can you go back and like you had a very simple map and the computer just so you went from that and then auto-generated that.
Yeah. And yeah, because it's basically looking at like, it uses randomness to be like, okay, now I want to go
left, right, forward, yeah, right.
And then it looks at the other thing that I created, be like, well, if we want to go left, how do we do that? And so it fills in the gaps based off of this example. So I can basically go in and this is the actual function that creates this. We can get a different seed, a random number seed, basically. 888, and it'll go through, we'll recalculate it, and give us another random dungeon, basically. Now, it doesn't make sense. A lot of these things aren't connected.
Yeah, but they could be secret doors, teleportation areas. Like, you could make that work. Yeah.
And I think there's ways to train it to do better examples. And there's plenty of stuff that we can play around with. Like I think this one increases the search area that it tries to get even closer to your example in ways, but it takes longer to calculate. So this one I think only takes about 20 seconds, maybe, we'll see. But we can apply that to generating random dungeons in Tailspire or whatever, or cities. And it doesn't have to happen just on a 2D plane. I guess it takes longer than 20 seconds.
Right.
I'm curious what it's going to do. Yeah, the longer it thinks, the better, right? Not always the case, but
exactly. Yes.
While that's cooking, I'm gonna look at one of these other pages that shows. Which one was it? I think it was this one. Yeah, down here. It's small. Oops. But they're showing 3D structures being built with these same algorithms.
Right.
And they can be tile based too, so you can build a bunch of tiles and tell it how those tiles can connect. Like this is a stairway, it's sloping down, it has to connect to another sloping down stairway or a landing or something, and it can help like figure that stuff out for you. Here they're just building 2D maps, but the same principles apply to 3D as well. And I think Menure, have you heard of Menure?
Yes, of course I have, and I'm very interested. So yeah, So let's good point. So switch to other VTTs. Menhir is really cool.
I believe they're using those same types of principles to create their random dungeons and cities, which is great. And here they show like you're using procedural terrain, but then you can terraform and modify it, and which looks quite amazing. Like I wish I could get to the level with my tools doing that, but I'm working within the constraints of my 3D software. But yeah, this stuff's going to be, you know how there's all those people generating images based off of like just phrases.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We'll be able to do that with our terrain. So it's like, I want a dark sun terrain, and it would, pull up a random one, and it's like, with more flat areas, and it will make more flat areas for you. That it's going to go there at some point.
Wow.
And
wow.
Oh, geez. No, so here's the one that thought a really long time, and that's what it came up with. So yeah, sometimes more compute does not.
No, it's AI, right? Yeah, I get that. Super cool though. Wow.
But,
So that Dark Sun map you had earlier, are you gonna put that in Tales Tavern where we can download it, or? Yeah, that one.
I'll export it again because I messed around with it a bit. But yeah, I'll export that. I'll stick it up on my Tales.
I love
Tavern.
that.
And we can do that right after stream here.
Great, Rob. Final questions, thoughts. The chat's been very live tonight. Thank you, everyone, for the chat.
Have you ever thought about doing YouTube videos explaining how to do this?
Yes. It all comes down to time. I did an overview video. If you follow that GitHub link that I posted, there's an overview of the whole system. It's like 25 minutes long, and it's not really a tutorial. I do want to eventually get to making some tutorials. I'm going to start with installation because a lot of people have just problems getting it up and running, and then do some more like basics of like, here's how you do a simple map, here's how you create a biome, stuff like that. Yeah.
Cool.
Love it. So Pat asked, did he touch my question on smooth alien spires?
Smooth alien spires.
Smooth alien spire. What do you mean, Pat?
It depends on...
He said, all right, so the original question was, how customizable is the environmental objects? Could you adjust or import an object to look more smooth or alien? Like tall, slender, smooth spires of rocks?
Yeah, it depends. It's really the limitation. Like, if you can create it in Tailspire, you can do it in here. Because like I'm building these assets, like, so these are all things that get put into that environment. So with there's that aberration set. It's really just limited to the assets that are available in Tailspire, and what you can do with them. Yeah.
Well, no. So that's what we're talking. So Pat said Tailspire seems very rocky and square, not smooth, which I agree. Like it was very blocky. What we're seeing here with what Jeff is doing is it creates that smooth sort of integrated effect.
Yeah, if that's a question, then yeah, like you totally, you mask, you try to mask the tiles by placing a bunch of props around them, basically.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know if that answered the question or not.
I think it did. Pat?
And there are some other examples. Where's one that? Oh, actually, yeah, one of the biggest maps I've been working on for almost a year now. I just don't have the time. Let me go and take a look at that because it has. I'm trying to create as many biomes in one map as I can that makes sense. And I even had one of the developers comment on, like, "Holy cow! I can hear your graphics card crying."
What is your PC? So Anna had to leave to go on to JStream, but like, what's your PC structure like? Your RAM, CPU, GPU? What do you have?
CPU, it's the a Ryzen like 5700 or something. It's
Okay, yeah. So we're right there. Same. Okay.
Yeah, and GPU, I have the RTX 3070. So
Okay.
I put all my money in the GPU on this computer. I have like 32 gigabytes of RAM.
RAM. Okay.
I do run out of RAM occasionally.
Yeah, Anna's building a PC with, I think, 128 gigs of RAM for all of her cartography. So she's going to take the cake for most RAM. Oh golly, look at that.
So this is one that I've been working on. It's a work in progress. But oh my gosh, what the heck? It just pasted that in there. Okay. I wonder if I can undo that.
Control Z it.
That's weird. Yeah, it just trashed my map. Oh, well, I can export this again. It's no big deal. That's weird. That's a bug. It's probably a bug with one of the mods that I'm using.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, I might have hit Control S.
Yeah. Try it.
Oh wait, if I go into build, I can undo it.
There you go. See, I knew you could. Yep.
Sweet.
There it is.
Yeah.
I knew you could do it.
The key for it. Okay. So yeah, this one I basically, not everybody can use these giant maps, but my goal for these when I publish them is, like, with this one, I want a really big map that has all these neat areas, and then I'll publish like individual regions of these. So it's like you have a big river, you have a couple smaller rivers, so I can just publish this as a region or something. Still need to do a lot of work. And then, like, over here you have this like canyon, oh, look at that, there's a little kitty cat down there. Meow.
I love this, and to me, I love the big maps because I like the sort of horizon level views, and I hate it when it kind of fades off into like abyss. Exactly what you're doing there. I love that. So you can show that horizon level exactly. So it makes it feel like a world instead of just a piece of a world.
Yeah.
That is, I love that.
But not everybody's machines can handle these things. So
well, I don't care about everyone else's machines. I care about mine. I love this. This is awesome.
But I plan on it, and what I also plan on doing is kind of clearing out areas. So, like, I'll publish a couple different versions of this. So it's like, here's an area that's cleared out. You can put your little town in, or maybe like make it so flatten this out so you can have like a wizard's tower up here or something.
Yeah, how would you like smooth? So that area right there, where we're just showing us where the wizard tower.
Yeah.
How would you smooth that out a bit more? Because some of the stuff you did earlier looks smoother. That has more of that blocky effect. What would you do?
Yeah. Well, I talk about smoothing out as in like flattening it down so that someone can just build there. Now, if I wanted to smooth this out to get rid of those jagged edges,
right.
It gets a little complicated, but basically I would do the same thing that you would do in if you were building this by hand. Is I always kind of like experiment with what we have. Like, you can go in here and start putting these dirt piles in to make this smoother.
So
and what I have to do is figure out in Houdini, like, what's the best way to put those things in there.
Exactly.
And yeah.
And now, can AI get us there?
On the top. Sorry.
No, Jeff. So can AI get to that point where you build this and then the AI can fill that out and smooth it?
Yeah, I can do that procedurally too. Meaning it's not really smart about it. It's just saying like, okay, here's these jagged edges. Now I want to and I would basically build a slope. Like I would detect those edges in my software, slope them down, and then apply all these other props to it to layer them up.
Yeah, and when I say AI, like, look, I mean, we're talking procedure stuff. It's narrow AI. This is not general AI. I get that. We're not. It's not true artificial intelligence. But if you can have the tech do that procedurally, that would work.
Yes.
Yeah.
It can do that. It's just a matter of taking the time to figure out how and the best ways to do it. So yeah, I could basically make a process. That,
Steve said he's worried about Skynet now.
Do you want Skynet? Because this is how you get Skynet.
Exactly. Love it. Jeff, this has been so much fun. We're going to see some of his content in our games, and I don't think this will be the last time you'll see Jeff. I would love to have him in a game, actually, Jeff. I think you'd be a fun role player as well. Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. Gorgeous stuff. Anna B. Meyer is going to want to talk to you. I know that's for sure. Rob, any final thoughts?
I just, like I said, this is amazing stuff. Having videos or something that allows those of us who aren't familiar with Houdini do it would be super cool. Because I would stare at Houdini and be like, okay, yep, mm-hmm. It's like, let me go see what's in the completed map section.
And so that brings me really quickly to this map, which is a regional map that I did. I did a commission for one of these. I can do these types of maps in like 20 minutes or so, based on just drawing in like this is where trees go, like almost in like MS Paint, like trees, mountains, whatever. And if I were to do an actual tool online that people could use, I would probably start with this, but I would need some help on some other aspects of that to make it happen. But yeah, that question comes up a lot where it's like, okay, how can you make this a tool that everybody can use?
Right.
And because I'm utilizing so much of Houdini, it's not really feasible. But I could possibly make like a web server that processes some stuff and to give you maps like this, possibly stuff like the other ones that we've been doing. I don't know.
Well, Jeff, I'm so glad you came on tonight. Thank you to John Diemengund, who introduced us, and I am blown away by what you're creating. I think the whole community is going to be reaching out to you. You're going to get a lot of reach out from this, and thank you so much. Anything else we can do to support you? Any other projects you'd like us to be aware of?
No, it's just like I stream occasionally on Twitch, usually once a week, Friday nights for me, and on the Tales Tavern site is where I publish my maps.
All right. Thank you so much. Rob, any final thoughts?
No, I mean, not related to the maps itself. Like I said, check out Castles and Crusades. I think you would love it. The Player's Handbook is free in digital format from Troller Games web store. It is all the thing that you love about in terms of classes and stuff from the older editions, but Siege Engine, D20 mechanic for doing all non-combat stuff. It's as easy as it gets.
Exactly.
Nice.
Well said. And they're a great sponsor for us. TLG is a fantastic group. Stephen Cheneau, Chuck, they are great people as well. So I want to say again, thank you, Jeff. And we're rating Lord Gazumba in 3, 2, and 1. Rating now.